This morning, we're hearing from the community of Ferguson, Missouri.
And we're learning about what's changed or hasn't since protesters clashed with police there 5 years ago today. Now, the outrage began after Officer Darren Wilson shot and killed Michael Brown Jr., an unarmed black teenager who Wilson claimed attacked him.
Now, a grand jury refused to indict Wilson. In a new interview, Brown's father tells CBS This Morning's Jeff PEGUES he wants the case reopened. Jeff is live for us in Ferguson this morning, where he continues the series Policing in America 5 years after Ferguson.
And he joins us now with a preview of a story that is ahead this morning on CBS This Morning. Jeff, good morning to you.
Joe and Gina, good morning. It is remarkable. It's been 5 years. The events here are so jarring that it's hard to believe that it's been that long. It seems like just yesterday, Michael Brown was shot and killed here. There is a memorial growing here as this community marks the anniversary of his death. Remember, back then, there were parts of this city that were literally in flames, and it sparked this heated debate across the country about race and policing. And so this week on CBS This Morning, we've been looking at how has policing changed? How has this community of Ferguson changed? And for that, I went to Michael Brown Sr. He and I spoke at length at a local restaurant here. He talked about that phone call that he got when he heard that his son had been shot and killed. Take a listen to a preview of his interview, because he also talks about whether policing has changed enough. Policing has changed, in your view, in those 5 years?
So-so.
So-so?
Yeah.
So you don't think there's been enough change?
No, it could be more.
So he thinks there could be more change in policing. The reality is, here in Ferguson, this city had a police department that was majority white. Now it's majority black. So there have been significant changes here, but we're going to delve more deeply into that. Also hear more from him. He wants his son's case reopened. We'll see how a local prosecutor feels about that as well, coming up on CBS This Morning.
Jeff, you've obviously been in the community. What is your sense? Are other people saying the same thing? Is there not enough reform yet?
Well, I think if you look around and if you talk to the residents who live here, there are some who will tell you, yes, things have changed. But, I think the overall consensus is there is still more work to do, not only here in Ferguson, but I think across the country, because post-Ferguson, you had implicit bias training introduced to police departments across the country. We've talked about that in our investigation this week on CBS This Morning. And the jury is still out about whether that is working, whether the new training instituted since Ferguson burst onto the national scene is really working. So I think overall the jury is still out. We're going to talk more about that.
Okay, just a year before Ferguson happened, I did a story there actually, talking about how it's up and coming and all the success they've seen. And then unfortunately this happened a year later, and it changes everyone's perception of the town. So definitely an interesting story that we'll continue following. Jeff, thank you, and we'll see you on CBS This Morning. It is 5:36 right now. You will hear more from him digging into the policing in America 5 years after Ferguson later today at 7 o'clock, just about an hour and a half away. That's after our morning news here.